Hi guys, and welcome to this week's Tribe Sunday morning video. Just to start off, a quick reminder about our Instagram page for the Rushmere Baptist Youth, and also just our normal Facebook page. Our midweek Zoom calls, we're always setting a challenge. Every week there's a new challenge, and once our young people have done them, and myself as well, they will go up on our Instagram pages and on our Facebook pages. So keep an eye on them, follow the Instagram page. And occasionally we might need you to vote on your favourite, or it's just great to be able to share what the young people are doing in this time. So as usual, I've updated the worship playlist on YouTube. So in a second, pause the video, spend some time in worship, and then come back to this video when you're ready and we'll get on with today's topic. Cool. So today's topic, I'm going to look at the passage in the Bible called Jesus and the Rich Man, or the Rich Young Man, Rich Young Ruler. It's got a number of different names, but I'll be reading quickly from Matthew 19 verses 16 to 22. If you want to read along with, then fantastic, but I'll be reading it out to you anyway. So, just then a man came up to Jesus and asked, "Teacher, what good thing must I do to get eternal life?" "Why do you ask me about what is good?" Jesus replied. "There is only one who is good. If you want to enter life, keep the commandments." "Which ones?" he inquired. Jesus replied, "You shall not murder, you shall not commit adultery, you shall not steal, you shall not give false testimony, honour your father and mother, and love your neighbour as yourself." "All these I have kept," the young man said. "What do I still lack?" Jesus answered, "If you want to be perfect, go, sell your possessions, and give to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. Then come, follow me." When the young man heard this, he went away sad, because he had great wealth. Now, I've just picked out a few different things from this, but if you want to, you can pause the video now, or you can kind of read through that passage again by yourself and try and take something from it, because what I'm getting from it today is just what I believe God is speaking to me about this passage. However, you reading it by yourself, you might get something completely different and something that's slightly more relevant to yourself. So it is worth reading through this by yourself. But I've sort of got three main points from this that I'm going to bring out of it in the next sort of 2 or 3 minutes. The first one is about this this man, this rich young ruler who has done everything. In his head, he's done everything right. He's kept all of the commandments. And he says, "What do I still lack?" And Jesus says, "If you want to be perfect, go and sell your possessions." Now, what this passage is saying to me is actually, it's and what Jesus is saying is, it's not about what you know. This man knew the commandments really well and he abided by them, and yet he still lacked something. It's not about what you know. And what's interesting about this passage is sometimes we can read this passage and mean that we must sell all of our possessions, or that anything that we own is wrong, or we need to do exactly what Jesus told this man here to do, which is go and sell all your possessions. But actually, this passage isn't about money. This passage is talking to this person specifically about money, because Jesus knew that it was money for this person. That was the thing that this person couldn't give up, and that this was the thing that could pose an obstacle to that person truly following Jesus. So actually, for us, when we're reading this passage, it's about, okay, what is it that is stopping us from following Jesus, or what is it that could stop us from following Jesus? Now, money is a massive one, and I imagine it is money for a lot of us, but that's something that we need to meet with Jesus about, and I ask him to reveal to us what is it that could could get in the way of us following Jesus, like money would for this man. Now, the second one is an interesting part about Jesus here. Is initially, when I read it as a young person, I was always confused that Jesus let this man walk. And I always had this image in my head of Jesus being someone that would fight and fight and fight to pull someone into the kingdom and into a relationship with him. And yet this man, he gives him one chance and he says, "Go, sell your possessions and give give them to the poor, and you will have treasure in heaven. And the man is sad and he just walks away. But actually, what this says to me, and I think says to us, is as Christians, it's so easy to fall into the trap of dumbing down the story just to try and entice people in. Like talking to my friends in school, I know I regularly would, you'd say something and you can see that they'd go, "That's weird," and then you go, "Oh no, I didn't mean that," and you kind of dumb it down to try and entice them into the story. And what Jesus is doing here is Jesus knows the truth, and Jesus doesn't stray from or try and dumb down the truth in any way just to keep this man here. And I think this is really important for us, that actually, yes, we are called to make disciples of Jesus and we're called to draw people in, but we have to stick to the truth. And actually, in this situation where someone is told the truth and knows that he can't do that, he knows he can't give this money up, and he walks, and Jesus lets him walk. And that's a really, really challenging thing for us, as you know, we're all Christian ministers. That's a really challenging thing to try and get our heads around, is that actually sometimes letting someone walk is what Jesus would have done. And that, I think that's something for you to ponder over yourselves as well. Finally, the third one is a little bit later on in the passage, when the disciples have said, "Well, what do you have to do then? Like, this man's walked. Who, if it's that hard, who can get into heaven? Who can follow Jesus if it's that hard?" And Jesus says, "With man, it is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." And it comes back to the thing I said earlier about this man lacked something. And what he lacked was relationship with God. He had all the knowledge, he knew the commandments, he lived by them, but he lacked that relationship with God that would have allowed him to say, "Yes, I'm going to drop all of this. I'm going to sell all of my possessions and follow Jesus and follow God." And I think that's the key really for us today, is that relationship is so much more important. It's the key part of this. It's all about our relationship with God and with Jesus. So again, I know I said it a lot, but my challenge to you in this time is really spend time working on your relationship with God. We have so much more time on our hands now, or some of us do. So spend time, make sure we're meeting with God and spending time in worship and reflection, because it would be so easy just to lose our identity in all of this. So that's what I've got for you this week. I hope that's resonated with you in some way. I hope you all have a really good week. And for those of you in Tribe and Shine, I will see you midweek in our Zoom calls. And our challenges will be going up on Instagram, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you very much.